Hi, I'm Bill Patrick. The program you're about to see is part of a vintage series called Car and Track, which was originally produced during the first half of the 1970s. Before we begin the show, though, a brief program note. Using as many as 8 cameras to shoot a single event, Car and Track captured some of the great NASCAR competitions of the era, one race at a time. Over the course of some 80 episodes through 6 seasons, series producer and host Bud Lindeman lovingly documented a unique era in American motor racing. While the race action contained in the series remains timeless, the program itself has not dated quite so gracefully. Although the years have not been overly kind to Bud's decidedly low-key introductions and interviews, we believe them to be an integral part of this one-of-a-kind series. So please, stay with us now as Speed Vision presents a rare slice of 1970s Americana, Car and Track.
Hi there, it's burn the fuel and smoke the rubber time on another automotive meandering. Today, Car and Track covers a new torture test for men and machinery. It's kind of a rare occasion when we can take part in the birth of a racetrack. And we were eager and ready when the Indy Championship cars christened the new Michigan International Speedway. And we'll also have a chat with A.J. Foyt concerning the good as well as the bad features of this newest launching pad. Our test track special of the week is a plush little Mustang designed with a dude in mind and called the Grande. Hey, we'll meet you in the pits with a champion in just 1 minute.
It's a beautiful day, and it's press day out here at Michigan International Speedway, and we're with the USAC Stock Car Division point leader and champion right now, A.J. Foyt. A.J., nice to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Bud. It's awful nice. Like you said, it is a beautiful day out here at the Michigan Speedway.
You got your chores cut out for you today, haven't you?
Well, it looks kind of this way, yes.
A.J. is giving rides to all the different press and newsmen around the country, around the track here, this brand new track, and that's what I wanted to talk with you about. This track being new, is it going to present any problems with any rubber burned into it or anything?
Well, I don't think so, actually, Bud. We will, they have run a few tests here, and the tire companies do have a pretty good idea of the tire temperatures and approximate the speeds that the cars will run, so it's possible that it could. Anytime you have a new green racetrack, it stands a possible chance that, you know, you could just make a little goof here or there, but I'm quite sure with experience and knowledge that the people have today, it won't be no problem.
Have you run on the track at all?
No, this is my first day here too, Bud.
Hey, I'll be darned. This should be a real race for you. In fact, it's pretty green to most of the drivers, isn't it?
Well, it is. I was scheduled to come up here and test, but we didn't have a car ready a couple weeks ago, and so I didn't test, and this is the reason we're here today.
I hear you're still a little pushed to the wall to get your car ready.
Yes, we are, Bud. We're having a lot of problems. We're running to Indianapolis now testing, and after we finish here today, we will go back there and finish competing the test.
I see. A.J., in your 1 or 2 laps that you've had around the track so far today, have you noticed, are all the turns pretty much the same?
Yes, they are, Bud. A lot of people have asked this question about this track against Indianapolis, but I'd say this track is probably another 7 or 8 or maybe 9 degrees more banked than Indianapolis.
What do you think of the future of a track like this? Do you think it can go and go big as Indy, for instance?
Well, Indy's had many years of background. It's well established. You got nice ingress and egress on the roads. You got, you know, nice motel facilities, and it just takes years to build anything. I think the track has a wonderful future. It's a beautiful layout. It's very wide, and I think it'll be a very fast track, plus a safe racetrack.
How do you feel with a track like this as perhaps compared to Atlanta, or Charlotte, a 1.5-mile track? Would that be faster than this or slower?
Comparing the tracks like a 1.5 miles there, last time we was there with the championship cars, they ran right at 170. It has more bank, but this here overall for 2 mile, they'll probably average, I'd say in the championship cars, maybe 190 or maybe a little better, and I'd say a good stock car probably run a good 160, maybe 165 mile average here.
I see. These banks, I was talking to you before, these banks don't look much higher than Indy to me, but you say they are.
They are, definitely, yes.
What is this, 18 degree, did they say?
I think they did say it's 18 degree, and one thing I like about the racetrack is it's very wide, and it's just a beautiful layout.
You know, I wish you had your championship car here today. I'd love to get some shots of you going around, but I think we're going to have to wait for a couple of weeks on race day.
Well, it kind of looks that way, yes.
Have you figured out a pattern to drive the track yet?
Well, actually, Bud, like a while ago, I went around a couple times, so why don't I just take you around and maybe try to show you a pattern out on the racetrack now?
Hey, I'm ready.
All righty.
Foyt's concern about this green track was typical. All of the drivers agreed that the new plant would be the fastest on the championship circuit, and also that tire wear would be an important factor since there was little or no rubber worn into the asphalt. Well, right now, let's hop in the car with AJ and take a tour around this new super speedway.
We're on the fourth turn of Michigan International Speedway now, just coming out onto the grandstand straightaway with A.J. Foyt at the wheel. And I sure do thank you for the ride, A.J.
Well, Bud, enjoyable giving you this ride. I really enjoyed driving you around.
We've been talking about the track here, and I was just kind of wondering what kind of a pattern you drive comes race day on the 13th.
Well, actually, the pattern I'll drive, it looks like the groove is going to be about the center of the turns and about 3/4 way up on the straightaway. It looks like it's going to be the fast groove.
Have you noticed any difference between the back chute and the front chute on the track?
Yes, I have. The front chute continues the bank all the way around, and the back straightaway levels out.
Is this a D-shaped track?
And also, yes, the front straightaway has kind of like a D shape.
I've noticed that, and down south at a lot of the NASCAR tracks that we've been at, we noticed the tri-oval effect, and this seems to have a little of that.
Yes, it does. Actually, this track favors an awful lot of Daytona International Speedway, which the way it's laid out and the way the grandstand's here, I think the public will be able to see the cars all the way around, which will make a beautiful show for them.
I think the same fella designed this track that did Daytona, didn't he, Moneypenny?
I understood he had, yes, and considerable the track and the work. The turns are very wide, which makes a nice fast race track, and also it helps make it a little safer.
You know, we talked about this bank before when we were standing over in pit row. We mentioned 18 degrees, but now that we get on it and the blood is rushing to the left side of my head, it seems higher.
It really does. Of course, that's what they say. It's 18 degrees. It feels like it's a little higher, so I imagine they know if it's more degrees because they designed it. And the biggest thing that makes it feel like more bank, I think, is the turns are so wide.
What speed do you think you can get to in your championship car on here, really, now that you get out on it and the more you drive it?
I'll say the speeds will be very close to 190 miles an hour lap average.
That's a going Jesse, no matter how you slice it. We're just coming through the second turn now and out onto the main straight. And you mentioned something about this main straightaway before, or the back straight, rather.
Well, actually, coming off a 2 here, if a guy would ever throw out oil or anything, it could make it slippery the way the bank drops off. Your bank continues flat here. It has a little degree of bank, but nothing like the front straightaway.
No, this back straightaway seems to be flat and very straight, too. And then when you come back into the third turn and enter the banked area again, how is that? Smooth? Easy?
Yes, I think it will be. You're just going to go into a bank at quite a sudden. It would probably give you a little bit more G real quick than the front does.
Now, on a track like this, would it be an advantage to run the high side going through the banks, or would you be better off down low?
Well, it's hard to say. It's just cardinal wherever the pattern is. Like I say, I'll say the bank, on this bank, you'll probably ride about halfway up. And I'm quite sure as the track gets older, then the grooves will change. And another good thing, it'll be more than just one groove racetrack. There'll be a couple grooves here.
The biggest names in the United States Auto Club were on hand for that first race. And this virgin 2-mile oval came alive with the sounds of speed. Hey, we'll be back with a few of the highlights in this inaugural event right after this. Sunday, October 13, 1968, was the date of the christening of Michigan International Speedway. And these Indianapolis Championship cars were chosen to spark the first breath of life into this newborn asphalt jungle. The full racing complex is a $5 million shrine devoted to speed. The ribbon on this brand new package was cut by Miss Betty Frankman, the internationally famous aerobatic champion. Now the 26-car field falls in behind the pace car to take their parade lap around the 2-mile oval. Mario Andretti, the speedster from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, the fastest qualifier, is on the pole. The Indy 500 winner, Bobby Unser, is alongside. Lloyd Ruby is starting third with Wally Dallenbach in the fourth slot. Then it's Rutherford, McCluskey, Al Unser, Bucknam, Foyt. Coming into the fourth turn, the pace car drops down into the escape route, and all drivers start to wind them up for the start. Suddenly, southern Michigan explodes with the sound of snarling Fords and Offies as this white-hot field fires under the green flag, and they're off. Bobby Unser's car number 3 looks like the business end of an Apollo launching. He's all wound up and running away. Andretti is running second, Al Unser third, and Dallenbach fourth. On the third lap, Larry Dixon pulls into the pits. He's having trouble with that turbo Ford, and while they check it out, they add a little fuel. Larry is a comparative newcomer to the championship circuit, but he made a great name for himself in the sprint cars. This crowd is stunned. Bobby Unser has gone wild. That turbo offie is going to run away and hide. He's leading Andretti and the rest of the field by almost a full straightaway. Car number 54, the Valvoline Special, driven by Wally Dallenbach, is in the pits. When they checked it out, they found a broken valve, so Wally's ride on the new track is all over, as is Sonny Yates. His rear-engine Chevy is out with a broken sump pump. And Jim Malloy's number 67 Offenhauser is pushed behind the wall. Now Gary Bettenhausen is out with clutch trouble. This new track is taking a tremendous toll on engines as well as tires. The pores in this new asphalt surface are hungry for rubber, and the tire engineers from Goodyear and Firestone have been checking compounds all day, trying to come up with a tire to beat the track. In the third turn, a car just dropped down onto the apron. It's number 2, Mario Andretti. He either has engine trouble or ran out of fuel. He's coasting very slowly now, trying to make it back to his pit. He made it into pit row, and the crew is out in a hurry. They have to push him into his own pit area. That's it. He ran out of fuel. Those turbo offies don't get very good mileage, Mario. Just a few feet further down pit road, A.J. Foyt wheels his Sheraton Thompson Special in for right side rubber. The crew have him out in 23 seconds. Now Andretti is refueled. He gets shoved out, but he was in for about 40 seconds. That could prove to be expensive. Bobby Unser is still in the lead. However, it looks as though he's running slower. The other cars have closed the gap on him. Out of the fourth turn, and there it goes. Unser blew it. Bobby set a blistering pace from the first lap, and now he just dumped that offie all over the racetrack. With the yellow out, many of the drivers take this opportunity to pit. Jigger Saroy brings his car in for fuel. Foyt pits for tires and fuel, and right now, A.J. is worried about that clutch holding out. But he decides to race as long as the car will run and fires back onto the track. Out of the fourth turn and down the front chute, number 45, Ronnie Bucknam, moves up to third. He's been pacing himself well through the entire race. Ronnie is another boy that's new to the championship cars, but he looks like a veteran out there today. He just came unglued. He scrambled all the nuts and bolts in that one. Lloyd Ruby, the Texas Traveler, is in the pits, out of the car and out of the race. Mike Mosley just pulled his turbo offie, number 90, into the pits. He's getting out and giving the car to Bobby Unser. Unser's in a close battle with Andretti for the point championship, and this ride just might make the difference. That Mosley is a great sportsman. Down that long back chute, Ronnie Bucknam just passed Mel Kenyon to take the lead, but Andretti is moving up fast. That's A.J. Foyt in the red number 1. This is an unscheduled pit stop. In fact, he's coasting slowly. It looks as though that clutch finally let go. Behind the wall and out of the car, A.J. Foyt, one of racing's all-time greats, is out of this one. Bobby Unser is doing a tremendous job in Mosley's car. He's already moved up to 3rd behind Mario. But Ronnie Bucknam is still the boy to catch. He's got the lead, and if he can keep all the parts together, it'll be his first win on the championship circuit. The white flag. One more lap, and Ronnie's got it. Here he comes down off the bank, 4th turn, hits the front chute, and flies under the checkered flag. A mighty happy boy, along with car owner Sid Weinberger. Mario Andretti finished 2nd, and the 3rd place money goes to Bobby Unser, driving for Mike Mosley. Ronnie Bucknam eases his car down pit row, heading for victory lane. Bucknam won the 250-mile championship event before a crowd of 55,000 race fans. Ronnie liked the Queen, the trophy, and especially the lion's share of the $100,000 purse. New driver, new track. Both off to a flying start. Mustang stable broadens for 1969 with a brand new addition called the Grande. It's a softer riding pony designed to surround the driver with a formal elegance not heretofore found in the Mustang lineup. Most of the tough, bred-for-the-track look inherent to Fomoco's pony car has been shed, and in its place, a smoother flow of sheet metal and a rich fabric-clad, wood-trimmed interior, pretty enough to cause a few envious meows over in the Cougar camp. For 1969, the Mustang goes posh with a top-of-the-line cream puff offering called the Grande. This particular model seems to have shed a little of the Mustang muscular look. With its fancier decor and softer ride, it looks like the Stang will be out to steal some of the Cougar market. Much of the underbody configuration is the same as last year's pony. However, the exterior sheet metal is all new. The silhouette is lower and almost 4 inches longer. The Grande insignia stands out boldly against the black pebble-grained vinyl top. A purchaser is quite limited as to the body selection. This is it. The Grande is available only as a hardtop coupe. The ventless side windows give better visibility, plus a clean overall look from the exterior. The 3.8-inch increase in overall length was all dumped into the front end overhang. The Mustang hood has always had the long look. This year, even more so. Dual headlights are also new on all models. One pair Frenched into the fender wells, the other set mounted in the grille opening. The 58.5-inch tracking width is the same front and rear. These bucket saddles are the best ever strapped onto the pony. They're formed to fit people, cushioned just right, and give excellent back support. Rear seats not only lack legroom, but if your shoe size is larger than 9, you may have a problem finding a place for your feet. However, up front there's plenty of room, even for the 6'2" guys. The adjustable steering wheel makes it fit even better. The dash shares about the same trim as the Mach 1. All instrumentation is round, very easy to read, and recessed in a rich wood-grained paneling. Our tester had the 302 cubic inch 8-banger with one 4-barrel carburetor, delivering 210 horsepower. The wide variety of engine options starts with the 200 cubic inch 6. Our 302, the new 351, the old standby 390, and the top of the muscle department 428. We had the manually shiftable 3-speed automatic transmission, and it handled the power well. 30 miles an hour in 3.4. On our second run, 45 miles an hour happened 4.9 seconds after we left the line. The next time up, the lights flashed. Our driver buried his foot in the happy pedal, and we had 60 in 7.8 seconds. With the softer springs, the Grande was unlike any Mustang we ever tested. We wanted to check the maximum body roll, so we put it through the reverse spin and filmed it in slow motion. We had our first meeting with the Grande about 2 months before it went on sale. Consequently, we had to film it at Ford's test track in Dearborn. As we drove through the winding road course, we noticed another departure from the regular Mustang corral. It was far more quiet. Along with a Mach 1, this car received about 50 pounds of additional insulation. The main Grande feature, as far as the performance is concerned, was the soft ride. They employ a rear suspension system similar to the Cougar, which is adopted from the full-size Fords. This, of course, means some additional rubber cushioning plus some longitudinal movement of the rear axle. This helps absorb road shock. The road course here at Dearborn consists mainly of wide, sweeping radius turns. And at 70 miles an hour, you can see a definitely greater degree of body roll. The Grande is mounted on coil springs in front and leaves in the rear. In the next few weeks on the show, we'll have a full-blown road test of the Grande, as well as the Mach 1, on our own track. However, these early driving impressions, it looks as though Ford Motor has definitely improved the breed. You know, we look forward to covering auto shows with a great deal of anticipation. They offer a kind of a welcome relief to our steady diet of racing and testing cars. These shows are becoming better every year, too. They're produced well, and the entries, well, they're spectacular. And the annual display in New York City is certainly unsurpassed by any other in the world. The 12th Annual International Automobile Show held in New York was probably the nation's most successful. With over 500 entries, the show presented an encompassing picture of the best and the newest the automotive industry of the world has to offer. Along with their standard models, the manufacturers unveiled their experimental cars. This Buick featured the sunburst sequential taillights. With the application of the brakes, the burst illuminates the entire rear panel. The directional signal operates only half the system. Most of the experimental cars, like this Buick, were aerodynamically flawless. A low, rapier-like silhouette and an all-new ease of operation are indeed a look at things to come. This show was a carousel of color. The paint jobs were dazzling, as witnessed by this Hawaiian bronze Oldsmobile 442. The custom cars, like this very popular milk truck, were displayed on the newly opened 4th floor and drew more than their share of spectator oohs and ahs. The bathtub by Bob Reisner was brought in from California. 2 antique French tubs serve as the passenger compartment, while the velvet commode up front is the driver's seat. Bob also owns this awesome Invader, powered by 2 400 cubic inch Pontiac engines, 2 hydromatic transmissions, and 2 Jaguar rear ends. The cost, $40,000. Every foreign car buff at the show paid a special tribute to this Lamborghini Miura. The 12-cylinder powerhouse develops 350 horsepower and a top end of 190 miles per hour. If Reddy Kilowatt had his way, all cars would look like this Rowan Electric. The top speed of 70 miles an hour is delivered by 2 9-horse electric engines. Shocking, isn't it? The show played to capacity crowds and was a vastly entertaining and enjoyable experience.